It's another special episode. I'm featuring one of the most talented, versatile entertainer, LEKKERSWEET, who is the king of KheloRap. And always someone, when they get into the music industry and they seem to be introducing something new and they feel like they are the pioneer of that particular genre of music, they call themselves king. Were you the original pioneer of KheloRap, or were there other artists who were doing the same music but they did not become as famous as you became?
Yeah, you see, that argument has been there on whether I'm the one who started KheloRap or not. But when I started doing it, I had not heard anyone rapping in Khelobedu. Until later, yes, I realized that, Peter Tinet on some of his songs, he used to rap in Khelobedu. If you listen to a song by Peter Tinet, there's somewhere he's rapping. And it's not rhyming, it's just rapping, you know.
Yeah, he's just narrating a story of sorts.
Yeah, so I realized, okay, there were people. You may find that there are people, or there are some who were afraid to do it. But later on, I realized, there are these guys who also remixed a song, an American song, rapping in Khelobedu as well. So when you surface and then you put, or you come up with with that argument and say, I'm the first one who rap in Khelobedu. Obviously, when I started going to interviews on radio stations, even the presenters would say, you are the first one whom we had rapping in this language. So later on, the king thing of KheloRap, I coined the word KheloRap. Yeah, I'm the one who came up with the name KheloRap itself. I still remember the first interview I did when I came up with this name, taken from Khelobedu rap. Then I called it KheloRap.
You lie.
So when you start Polokwane or a village somewhere, you can start a village and call Mr. Rams to become a king there. So that's what it's more like building a kingdom. But then remember that when you start something, is to open the industry for everyone to feel free. There are a lot of people. It's just that later on, when there is this beef thing, people are afraid to tell the real stories. Or even, in the industry right now, you inspire people, and then later on, when they start competing with you, they want to twist the history. Do you get it? That's the argument you're talking about.
Yeah.
Even in Motswako, you will find there are people who used to, look after Jeba. Yeah, they were inspired by Jeba, and then later on they are in the game with him. They start performing. People tell them, "Hey, yo, man, you know what? You are better than Jeba. You are the king." Okay, for now, how I concluded this thing is that, this imaginary kingship or what doesn't matter. I'm the KheloRap originator. When I started doing it, as I told you, I started writing in Sepedi because, at Khelobedu, we
marginalized.
We learn Sepedi in school.
Yeah.
We write Sepedi in school. So when I rap in Sepedi, man, I could feel that, no, man,
Sure.
Yeah, so
they started flowing in Khelobedu.
That's when I said I wrote Kwaba Deja. When I started writing Khelobedu raps, if there's, for argument's sake, I was doing grade 8, man. It was in 2003.
Sure.
Yeah, that's when I wrote. We cannot write. It's not. There's no one. We haven't agreed on how Khelobedu should be written. So I could write borrowing from vendor. When I say G, I would check how they write gay in Kevenda. 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 Yes.
Yeah.
So
I understandably so.
yeah,
Hey.
but then I also thought, when I rap in this language, there are people who are gonna say, man, we don't hear you. You start thinking about, okay, when I go to Polokwane to perform, people are gonna laugh. But I was like, I want to do something unique. That's when I started recording in Khelobedu.
So, Khelobedu was your first song that you have ever recorded in Khelobedu?
No. In Khelobedu.
Yes.
I thought you said first song. Yes, because I the first recorded songs, I think, when I took a gap year after my matric in 2008. I went out and the money that they they left me with to buy some food at home. They were all in Gauteng. I would go to Tzaneen and knock at that studio owned by Derek.
Sure.
Yeah, he's a good producer. He produced a lot of good songs. It's just that he's under. He doesn't want to be known. I don't know why.
Sure.
Sacho, shout out. So I recorded songs like Knock Knock. They were Insipid. Those are the songs I recorded. But as I was busy recording, I could feel, man, I'm not expressing myself enough. Kasipedi. That's not the language I speak every day. I speak it in class. I write it in class. But outside,
Sure.
So I felt, let me include one song I recorded, Khelobedu. That was in 2008. So, as I'm saying, we write in Sepedi and Khelobedu, where I'm from. Although now because where I'm from, there are Batsonga and Mapedi. Khelobedu and Batsonga. So the Tsonga one came later because they saw that these people here cannot only do Sepedi, they introduced Sitsonga as well. So I was doing Sepedi, everyone was doing Sepedi. That's where also, the very same school where Benny Mayengan comes from, he did Sepedi, that guy. We're from the very same school. Shout out to him. So
that's why you also rapping Xitsonga.
Yeah, I know. I speak Tsonga fluently.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because I write in Sepedi, when I went to stereo, I'm like, this is the language that we should speak. That's why later on in 2012, I created a group on Facebook called Khelobedu, the 12th official language.
Yeah.
On Facebook,
we're going to get to that because you are also the advocate of Khelobedu language and you were involved in a lot of activities that advocated for the language to be recognized as the 12th language.
That's why I had to record in Sepedi.
Sure.
But then I felt it when I was doing, when you're expressing yourself as an artist, you could feel that something is missing.
I'm restricted.
Yeah. That's when I recorded that Khelobedu song.
Khelobedu. What does that mean?
Khelobedu. It's a deep Khelobedu term.
Sure.
But then it means, I could attribute it to hustling. Because it means, you see, when I drink this cold drink, by this now, and then I leave it to drink it again in the morning, go Khelobedu.
Okay.
Yes, more like preserving.
Okay.
So hustling, slowly but surely, gathering.
So LEKKERSWEET now Khelobedu, he was hustling. Sure.
Yes.
So that's how Mr. Khelobedu came about, and it became like sort of your other name.
Yes, because after that song, after recording that EP in 2008, I could perform other songs. But when it comes to that Khelobedu song, people were crazy. People like new things.
Sure.
And it had that rhythm. So people started calling me Khelobedu. When I started doing my first year at the University of Limpopo, hey, Khelobedu. And I was like, why not?
Right. So from recording in Khelobedu, what happened now to your music career? What did you see that made you believe that now I'm going to continue rapping in Khelobedu?
Yeah. Okay. Fast forward as I transition into becoming a student then in 2009. I went to the University of Limpopo. I was doing media there, and I was also doing performing arts.
Sure.
So at that, the performing arts, I think that's where I grew. There's a center called the Performing Arts Center at the University of Limpopo. That's where we were doing your acting. We had the acting classes there. So there was this thing called a talent night show. So we used to perform the talent night show. It was actually meant for stage plays, but in between the plays, we could go there and do an open mic session. Yeah. So for poets, rappers, singers to express themselves there. Then I had this. Actually, when I went to school, my plan was to pause a little bit with music and stuff. So yeah, in 2010 at the Performing Arts Center, that's when I started performing that Kwabateja song, and I was like, the reception. I wouldn't perform it alone. I used to perform it with other songs, but then when I performed that Khelobedu song, it was crazy, man. Because you know what's the reason? When we go to varsity as Balobedu, we used to undermine ourselves actually, and say we can't speak our language because they're gonna laugh at us, or 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
So that's why I could see that there are a lot of Balobedu people, but they are pretending to be Bapedi there. And we would greet each other. Hey, trying to speak the proper Pedi. Then a phone rings. Hey, the guy now, this guy can speak Khelobedu, but we've been speaking Sepedi. So you would see that people are. Maybe it's because of the environment. They okay, we are in Polokwane.
Yeah.
We have to go Sepedi. Then people were happy that there's somebody who's representing. Then that's when I started doing it, and I ended up coming up with Kwabateja mixtape. There I was doing it in Khelobedu only, or just a little bit of a few Tsonga tracks there, but then. Yeah, mostly in Khelobedu, because I see that there's a market for this.
So that's where your career in music started changing and elevating now.
Yes, from there, from the very same mixtape that I recorded using my poor equipment, was nominated at the Satma Awards.
Sure.
Yeah, in 2013, when the Satma Awards were hosted in Eastern Cape, East London. I was like, there's something about this. And with interviews, I would just get calls. Then that's when I saw that there's something about this. People want this. It gets a lot of exciting when, as an artist, you just get calls. People feel like they need the content instead of you going out knocking. And so I got a lot of interviews, started getting interviews at the SABC, Capricorn.
And you were performing at that time at the University of Limpopo. You were highly booked artist, one of the highly booked artists.
Yeah, at the University of Limpopo, man, I performed at a lot of gigs. So there, from that Performing Arts Center thing, and then when I was studying English at the University of Limpopo, I got to be selected as one of the, we applied a program from US Embassy to study English in USA.
Sure.
I got selected on the top 5 in South Africa. So when I went there, I performed in Khelobedu in America. Man.
Sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. That's when I saw that language is not a barrier. Actual music is a universal language.
Sure.
As long as people feel the rhythms, people could jam to a song. There are a lot of songs that you listened as well as you were growing up. What was that song saying?
I don't know. I don't even remember. No, but I don't remember because there were a lot of songs that we listened to and we did not even understand the language, the lyrics. Even when they were in English, when we were growing up, we didn't understand English that much, but we loved the music anyway.
Yes, so after performing there, I was like, no, I'm not going to change this thing. I just have to do it in vernacular. everywhere I go. When I wake up, I just have to, if I do a song, I have to do it in Khelobedu. Yes, there could be code switching there if you feel like I can include this word. But then, yeah.
Yeah. So, as an upcoming artist, then performing in Khelobedu, and now you are starting to get this attention and bookings. How much money were you making at that point via music or performing?
And I can't say I made a lot of money with music because I feel like okay, before I can explain figures, ne?
Sure.
And then there were a few gigs that I was getting with the University of Limpopo. I got a few government gigs.
Sure.
I remember there's one gig at some municipality back then. The first paying gig, 2012. They were charging. I mean, they said send us a quotation. I sent 10K. They say no, we give local artists 20K. That was the first one, the promising in 2012. Back there. Then from there I started getting. There were a few gigs.
Sure.
Because there are a lot of gigs where I feel like we were exploited, or rather we were trying to push ourselves. As you know, with especially if you are not signed, I feel like one advice that I could give artists is that even if you're not signed, get a manager because you may be a good artist but not a good negotiator.
Sure.
You know, people when they talk to you directly, hell man, they could say a lot of things, and sometimes they're just trying to hear what you could say. Yeah, but then what I did is I couldn't wait to be booked. I organized a lot of events on my own.
Sure.
Yeah, a lot of events, of which is something I still do right now. When they started introducing the pools by there at home, started making events. I used to design T-shirts to promote the songs.
Okay.
If you remember, there was a Kwabateja T-shirt with the hand holding a coin.
Sure.
Yes, so I would sell those T-shirts. Yeah, even on the very first gig that I mean the one I made a lot of money from. I went there with T-shirts and I sold them. It was just my face written LEKKERSWEET, and then there were Kwabateja T-shirts, and then maybe you're referring to the Hit Harder one.
Khelobedu Aswega.
Oh, the story of Khelobedu Aswega.
Yeah.
That's not my brand.
That's not your brand.
Yeah.
But what happened? Because you were the one wearing the brand, or you were the ambassador of the brand.
Yeah, I could say something like that. I was not alone. The first guy, actually, shout out to Mutsetse, he's still my friend. The guy came up with a brand, and he even trademarked it.
Okay.
His name is Mutsetse Nkapele. He's still my friend. We talk he's in Gauteng. He's based in Alex, but Khelobedu.
Sure.
He also had the same vision of, you know what, I feel like Khelobedu is marginalized. I want to push it in Gauteng and let these people know that Khelobedu, we are proud to be Khelobedu. He came up with the brand Khelobedu Aswega. The first soundtrack, so he started associating himself with different artists. Janisto, when he was still Janisto, not Janisto and CK. The first Khelobedu Aswega song is by Janisto.
Okay.
Promoting that brand, we would also mention him. He's our guy. Let's push for this. He has the same vision.
Sure.
If you hear on the song, I say, Le Mutsetse push as well. Yeah, so that's Mutsetse, the guy. Even the Janisto one that says Khelobedu Baba Drala Ria Chuba is Janisto. If you search, Janisto has that song with Chamsa the DJ.
Sure.
They were also promoting that brand. So when I made a song about Khelobedu Aswega, that song was big, especially in Khelobedu.
Sure.
So some people started calling me Khelobedu Aswega.
Yes.
And those T-shirts, you could, firstly, I think at the first occasion, he just gave me the T-shirts and say, you know what, you've pushed, let's we were almost like partners, but not really, because that time I used to sell those t-shirts.
Sure.
Campus, you remember?
Yeah, I was under the
So
impression that it was your brand, like because it relates with the song.
Yes. Yeah. So I actually made that brand big. Everyone knows. Everyone in Polokwane is saying it's your brand, and yeah. So that one was to promote that brand.
Okay.
Yeah. So that one I'm not owning. He's still pushing it.
Sure.
So from that song, after making that song, he started organizing events. An event called Khelobedu Swagger Day. So I was an MC from 2013. Every year I'm the MC of that event. This year is taking it to somewhere called Kamakalangake, that side of Kapani.
Sure.
Every 16 December, people that side call that day Khelobedu Swagger Day.
Sure.
Because of that event that we organized.
So where are you originally from?
Dichosini. Yeah, you won't get lost if I send you to Dichosini now. You just use R81 all the way to Giyani before, after passing Mukezi. You know, people will feel like I'm also directing them. I'm giving Jack Rams the direction.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, so next to Mapale, there's a village called Dichosini.
Dichosini. That's where you were born and bred.
I was actually born Kamagoro. That's that side of Ilim. That's where, I was born there. It's a Tsonga region. Because my mom is Tsonga.
Okay.
So we started. I started school right away. I was doing Shitsonga when I was doing grade 1.
Which school is this one?
Bulani Primary, I think. It's a long time, right?
Is it the school still exist?
It's still there.
Okay.
Because I visit Lugogo every December.
Okay.
It's still home.
Sure.
Although my grandma passed away, my aunt is there. We visit. It's what can I call it? Me and my brother go there every December. Me and my family. We just go there every December. So that's where I left there when I was 7 years old. The family moved to Khelobedu in Dichosi.
So did you do your events there or somewhere else? Did you take all your events there, Dichosini or somewhere else?
Yeah, I haven't done an event at home because there are the venues there. My plan, my vision was not just to do events at taverns.
Oh yeah.
It was to do events at places like pools and stuff. So although I would say I once performed at home, not my own event, when there were those clubs who just go around. I would go there on weekends because I was based in Teflop for a long time. So I would go there on weekends. You find that club that I'm associated with is going to Dichosi now. I haven't done my own event. I did a lot of events. Amapalet, Khapani. Because of
Because what I'm trying to establish is that now you are big. You are already at the University of Limpopo. You are getting all these gigs. You are getting all these interviews. Now you are the king of KheloRap, and you coined the word KheloRap. Everyone is using it now. Who starts the beef with you to claim that he is better than you?
Okay, if I could tell you the KheloRap story, there are a lot of people who tried to beef me. I don't know if I could say, because they would feel like, when I started writing the Khelobedu raps or those deep hip hop songs, a lot of rappers, you would feel like a song is personal while it's addressing all the rappers.
Sure.
So some people would feel like I'm personally attacking them.
Who was prominent? Who came out straight and said?
The first time the first group I've known who also rap in Khelobedu were Mayo Leogat. I don't know if you know the guys, but they most of their songs they used to rap on the US beats. They just download beats, and they were popular as well.
Sure,
that side, and then people would say all I know that they had beef with Lenzo. But then when I rap sometimes at events, they would say, when I rap, so and I was like, okay, because I had that song, you know that, I think you're the first one to compile that song, or you were playing it on Top 30 on Radio TF.
Yeah. Actually, I was the first one to actually approve it and compile it.
I remember, you were the
and then
compiler.
it created chaos, that song.
Yes. So that song, all the rappers felt like I'm addressing them.
You become this big artist as LEKKERSWEET, right? And now you are there rapping in KheloRap. You start realizing that there are a lot of Khelobedu speaking people here.
Yeah.
Right? Then what made you to say, I'm going to be the advocate for the language in a different perspective, in a different channel now, not through music only?
The Khelobedu 12th official language.
Yeah.
The group itself was not only meant for music. Because I felt like music is the strongest tool, man. If we are trying musically to promote that language, and then there are people who are trying, because I when I googled, I was searching, or let me say when I was doing my research, I saw some names there of people, including the Minister of Basic Education's husband, Dr. Matole Musego. I don't know if you know him. He was also one of those guys who are in the movement of pushing Khelobedu to be an official language.
Sure.
So when I saw that, I was like, why don't we create, our social media was starting to be a prominent tool to use to communicate. I started that group. Everyone would post, would share some new names that that we with the terminology. Because the reason I feel like Khelobedu could be a stand-alone language is because it has its own terminologies that are not based on another language. A dialect is based on another language. So Khelobedu has a lot. Even the word kwaba, they're just not based on another language.
It's an original.
It's an original
Khelobedu terminology.
It has a lot of original, words or terms. Yeah, because if you check, okay, I can give you an example. Kasipulana. Sipulana is a mixture of Sepedi and Xitsonga. I don't think it has its own words. If you know that language, Kasipulana from Bushbuck Ridge.
Sure.
So Khelobedu is not like that. I know when we say we want Khelobedu to be the 12th official language, some people would say, what about ours? Because there are a lot of dialects.
Sure.
Yeah. So, there we started sharing. A lot of people started communicating, but later on, I don't know, that group just, it's still there, but it's not active.
Yeah, but what was the intention there? Did you take it any far to a point where you were like actively involved in movements and organizations that would have seminars where you would go and represent something like that?
Not really. I think the resources to do that were just not enough, or because I was busy with other stuff. But I would meet there's one man from Mapale, he was my primary school teacher, Mr. D.D. Buke. He once told me that is also in the, a committee that is advocating for Khelobedu to be the 12th official language, and they were busy with how it should be, structuring how it should be written as well.
Sure.
Yeah, because he would correct me and say, no, you didn't write. Because there was a point where I used to write in Khelobedu on Facebook. Yeah, you could read it, but you were just not sure. Even myself, there are a lot of people who still do. But you find that we write one word differently. So there's no agreement now on how it should be written. Yeah, that process there, say that it needs a lot of lexicographers, whatever it needs.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's still in the pipeline. Even last year, there's one article I read about the application. I was glad that there are people who are busy with that, and they communicate directly with the royal family.
Yeah.
It comes from the royal council as well. So said as long as there are people who are doing this, it's not all about me.
Sure.
I could be trying to push it somehow, as long as it happens one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So at that moment also at the University of Limpopo, because a lot of things happened at the University of Limpopo. I think the University of Limpopo loved you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because I think there was a point you did a music video, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong. The music video was funded by the University of Limpopo Department of Media and Communication.
Yeah, let's not use the word funding.
Okay.
You know what happened there?
Yeah.
The University of Limpopo media students, they have this course called Film and Television.
Okay.
So that course, every year before they finish, they should have completed. They should complete a project,
Sure.
a film and television project. So they had to shoot. These other years, they were shooting documentaries, and they invite. I think that department also invites. People, experts from film and television who would come and help the students understand the practical part of film and television. So that year they were doing things differently. They said, we want to shoot a music video.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was the project of the university. They shot the video, they selected, they decided to shoot my song.
Yeah.
Yeah, because funding, I would say, why don't you also give me? I didn't get even a cent.
Yeah.
They just shot my music video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's true that the song was Bomba. I was doing a song in Khelobedu. Yeah, man, that was a big project.
That was a big project. Hence, I'm talking about it because it seemed different from what other students were doing and other activities were doing, because it was outstanding.
Yeah.
The music video, the location, everything, the production, the direction.
But I think it's because it's a song. They used to, even when I was doing my honors right at the University of Limpopo, we shot a documentary. We used to come in Bendo and shoot, but that time people wouldn't see it because it's not a music video. That one we also took it to YouTube. The other projects we found that they just archive it. The
but that was part of the department. I saw some of the material. They were not really like the best quality and
even
the
guy,
production.
The director they invited there, I saw him now is busy in Germany shooting films. Those epic films like your Lord of the Rings.
Sure.
So that guy, the Pius Okaba, if you check him, I think is an expert and an international filmmaker.
Sure.
Yes. So I think that's what made the project exceptional. Yeah. But they took somebody from Movango. They were invited by the university to because the filmmaker, the cinematographer is Pius, the director is from Movango. So what I benefited there is a great music video.
Sure, of course.
A great one. The final product was
so crispy, clean.
Yeah, but when I felt like, can't you just, from those funds that we're going up and down with, can't you give me a little bit? But I couldn't say that because I knew it's
so, but LEKKERSWEET, there was a point, man, you seemed like you disappeared from the entertainment space, and I think you stopped releasing music. We stopped hearing less of LEKKERSWEET. What was happening at that point?
I think after releasing Fogoja, Fogoja project, the one that the project that got me the best hip hop artist at the Fame Awards in 2016, I just started releasing singles. Maybe it's because of that. And hip hop in South Africa, man. Even now, what's about my piano? So I can't say it was like really a pause. I just take my time because I have a lot of things that I do as well.
Sure.
Because I'm not just a musician, as you said. Because I once, I also, when I was at the University of Limpopo, I was focusing more on radio later on.
Yeah.
Because I was remember I was a technical manager at Radio TEF and also doing a hip hop show there. So when I was focusing on music more and like getting to act on TV
Sure.
as well. Yeah, because I ended up getting somebody who took me to a few soapies. Because so that pause was caused by
a lot of activities that were happening. So how do you get to Radio TEF? How did that opportunity come about?
Yeah, when I was doing my honors, I was I learned how to use the softwares, the recording softwares, because I love music. The intention was to record music, but then I also realized later that no, man, I like playing with the sounds. When I get those sound effects, they were meant for music, but I could hear a lot of things, a lot of radio stuff. So I started creating jingles, adverts, and whatnot. So
on your own, at your own spare time.
Yes, yes. So when the Mr. Machila, who was the instructor of radio practicals, or say a lecturer of radio practicals at the University of Limpopo, he wanted us to do a project, a documentary. Our documentary was, it was well created.
Sure.
To an extent that they felt like they could play it on radio, and I was the only one on sound there. And I also included they didn't tell us to include the jingles and whatnot, but ours had jingles. It had some cues.
It was unique.
Yeah,
sure.
It felt like real radio.
Okay.
So when he demonstrated during practicals, people would tell me that that guy is playing your jingles when he tells us how jingles sound. And yeah, because ours was not sound engineering, remember?
Sure.
It's just touch base on
production, radio production, broadcasting techniques. Yeah.
So from there, the very same year when Radio TEF was doing some MDDA projects where they wanted to they introduced a radio drama sponsored by MDDA. I was called just to freelance because they knew that I could help in the drama department. I could add something there. They called me together with stylish DJ.
Sure.
We would be called. We were not part of Radio TEF, but we joined that project. When the deputy station manager was Mr. Mujapi Raymond.
DJ
Razor. Yeah. So we would go there, create stuff with stylish, working for that project and getting something after it.
Sure.
The following year, I was just at home after completing my honors. They just called me that we need somebody who can assist at the technical department. I became an assistant technician there.
Sure.
The one who was dealing with everything, the current affairs, adverts, sound bites.
You're also using your voice on those promos and adverts. Yeah, because I could hear some of the promos and jingles. This is LEKKERSWEET. This one.
Just a few. I think because they wanted, on some promos, I also used my voice. I'm also a voiceover artist.
Sure.
Yeah. I believe I'm selling myself. Okay.
Yeah. Then how do you move to a show now?
They took me, and then the following year I became the technical manager instead of being an assistant. In 2014, I became the technical manager until 2018.
Sure.
At Radio TEF. So in 2013, the very same year, I said, you know what? I'm a hip hop person. I feel like if you could give me time to co-host a hip-hop show or whatnot. And then luckily there was no host, I think around the November, December in 2013. Yeah, that's when I started doing that hip-hop show.
Sure.
I also did the show for 5 years as well. Yeah, did that hip-hop show until 2018.
And then when do you start to get acting gigs, and which was like your first acting gig?
Okay. There's this show called Heritage Arts and Culture Festival at the University of Limpopo. You are right to say we are talking University of Limpopo.
Yeah, the University of Limpopo loved you, man. I felt like you were just a special kid. They were just taking care of you and doing everything for you.
A lot of things happened there. So Heritage Arts and Culture Festival happens in September. So that one, it was Hackfest 2016, I think.
While you are still at Radio Chef.
Yeah. So there's this man who came, because I used to associate with that performing arts department. I think it's now headed by, there's an official called Mr. Sierrane there.
Sure.
Poser. He invited me to say, man, we have somebody here who pushes actors. You should know that person. I know you are an actor. We acted here on stage together. Yeah. So when that man came, we spoke, and then he said, yeah. I think I understand. I understand your goals and understand what you want. The following year in 2017. That man, when the river started, he called me and said they need featured actors on the river. Yeah, that's when he called me and Mposa, when then acted on the river as detectives.
Sure.
Yeah, we're going to deal with
Sure. So that was your first TV acting gig.
Yeah, it was on the river.
Sure.
Then the following year, I think it was 2018. It started in 2018. The river was in 2018. I forgot, 2017, 18. And then the following year, the following gig, around about the same year. In 2018, that's when I acted on Isibai as a drug dealer as well. Yeah. He was Mr. Sema is the one who was connecting me.
So basically they found you an agent to facilitate your gigs.
I could call him an agent.
Sure.
So he would see when he wanted an ugly guy who's gonna be a drug dealer, he would call me. Kidding. So yeah,
and when they wanted a police officer, they would call you.
As actually the police thing, man. Okay.
You don't like the character of being a police?
Nah, any character. I think I would act any character.
Sure. Okay.
I would, even. Okay, let me not mention it. So yeah, in 2019 when Guyana started as well, I got that's where I dominated the episode on Guyana as a policeman there. Yeah, so those are the gigs that I got. And
which one of it do you think it gave you more attention and fame?
The Guyana one, because everyone would watch it, even those who were not subscribed to DSTV. The Guyana Land of Blood one.
Oh yeah.
The river was on One Magic.
Sure.
Remember,
and a lot of people don't have like DSTV.
Yeah, so those who watched the other ones, they're actually those ones who follow the soapies through YouTube.
Sure.
Not those who go to an episode the following day to watch.
Yeah.
But on the Guyana one, when you get a lot of calls just while it's playing, they just want to tell. When they hear that Jack is speaking on radio, there are people who call and say, Jack, they would call you while you are busy with your show. Just to let people know. So I think that's hence the Guyana one.
Yeah, it gave you like
a lot of attention.
A lot of attention. Did anything come out of it?
Just a lot of. You mean a follow-up?
Yeah, follow-up gig, maybe.
I think after Guyana, I actually shot, this the wife.
Sure.
Yeah, but it was through Semantic as well. But that episode on the wife, it was last year. That episode that I shot on the wife, they actually wanted to reshoot the whole. Not only that episode, they called us to say, you know what, we're going to shoot everything because we had a problem with the production company, whatnot. That time I was attending another gig. There was an event last year at the ranch with artists. They invited a lot of artists. So when we had to reshoot, man, I was not there. I was worried that I'm not part of the wife anymore.
Sure.
But yeah,
What was your role there?
I was holding a knife, man. Going to step Hlomu, you see that is Hlomu, the wife.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
You were a murderer on that thing. You were going to kill someone.
Actually, yeah. If there's a scene there where she was stabbed, I don't know who acted it later on when I was not able to go back to Gauteng to rush and shoot again.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was that criminal. I'm telling you, when they think of this, roles.
Sure. They think of you.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna get
but then I don't want to be a type actor. I'm just let me clarify it that I can shoot anything. Not because but I'm glad I didn't act only one role. I acted as a thug, a drug dealer, and a policeman. So maybe next time I'll be the husband, like the one.
This is an interesting journey, bro. Yeah. So, but then now, while you're busy doing that, how does when does Thobela FM come in the picture now?
Thobela FM, it was actually it's last year. I had actually taken a serious break from radio because it was after 2018. I wanted to focus more on acting, actually.
Okay.
Yes, then, COVID came, and, all we could do, I was just at home, pushing some stuff there, recording a lot.
Sure.
And then I saw an advert. I just saw an advert. And since, I have my own recording equipment, I just say, what, let me just push time. Actually, there's this guy who came, Mureza. He has an online radio, Perfect Radio. He's the one who came and said, man, I want you to do a demo for me. Yeah, so when he came there, I said, let me also do mine. I sent, and then they called. Yeah, I'm a producer. I produce the Listener's Choice show. And I also produce other shows as well, per call. But the one that I produce now is the Listener's Choice. Yeah, that's what I'm doing there.
But you were on air at some point.
Yeah, I was doing a hip hop show as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I think the first one who did a hip hop show, when they introduced the hip hop show to LFM, it was Kucholicious.
Sure.
And then later on, I joined in. And end of April, they changed shows. Then when they changed, they wanted to introduce the show that plays Monday to Thursday, the Baswala Bokamo. So they said they feel like it should be played Monday to Friday.
Okay.
And then on Friday, it should just focus on hip hop.
Sure.
That's when I started producing it. The first one. In April, I started by producing that hip hop show as well. Then, I started being a producer again.
Also, there is a soft spot about you that I notice and observe most of the time, man. You are an affectionate guy. You demonstrate and show a lot of love to your partner. You post her a lot, bruh. Every chance you get, you post and you write like a long paragraph. I don't even finish some of the paragraphs you write about her.
Paragraph must be a birthday paragraph.
Yeah. But I love that about you. And I always wonder, Joe, what is so special that really makes you to openly and loudly, because it's unusual for guys to loudly love and appreciate their partners.
Especially because I started doing it at a younger age. I love her.
Sure.
That's how I could summarize it. I love her. She loves me. Man, when you, in the world that we live in right now, it's not easy to, it may be easy, but there are a lot of separations or divorces and stuff like that. But I'm not saying mine is a special, because when we write things like that, there are those who view it like you say, you know what, this guy loves his partner. Then there are those that but lo mothala to delete it.
Hey, Joe, and I can imagine how the picture get you.
Yeah,
Imagine going back and deleting everything.
You once imagined that?
No, I'm saying it
I
now.
thought maybe you used to imagine.
No, I'm saying it now when you are saying it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I'm just saying I appreciate how you loudly love and just expose your love life like that.
It's something that I can't explain as well. I love I love my woman, man. I love her, Tabile, man. Yeah, I love her.
The mother of your
Two boys.
two boys.
Yeah. The mother of my two boys. You know, I even made songs. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, just to dedicate it to our love.
Sure. And you released it on Valentine's.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
Because the first one I think was around 2014 before we had our boy. And then that time, that's when we came up with the name of the boy. Because I knew I'm going to have a boy. I don't know why. Yeah, I said my first son is going to be Kwano.
Sure.
Taken from Murumo Kwano. But then I saw that this name, I felt like the name is too long. Then I cut it to, we agreed that we're going to call him Kwano.
Sure.
Yeah, because Murumo Kwano, that part of Kwano, it's about how the lines or the words agree to each other as well.
Of course. Yes.
So, yeah. Then in 2016, I made another one. It was about the songs. 2016, that's when I made another song, also dedicated to the son as well, to our love and our son.
When and where did you meet her? How did you meet her? Hopefully it was not at an event where you were performing and she fell in love with you. It must be different this time, because I've heard these stories from a lot of rappers. The guys I've interviewed, they met all their girlfriends at events.
Mine was not, she was, started like a fan who became a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's from Skosese, but then she started knowing me. Oh, I'm sorry. I think that big song. She was one of the fans of Khelobedu song.
Okay.
Yeah, she just loved rap. Not only it. Because she was a fan of rap.
Sure.
But then we met at the University of Limpopo as well. Yeah,
Okay.
she was when I was doing my honors there. She was doing her first year. So it was just, I was not going to perform. It was at a freshers ball.
Sure.
We were just hanging around as friends, who later started chatting to each other. And then, you know, when you meet someone, you feel like this person is a wife material at a younger age.
Soulmate, Baba.
Yeah. So, but then when it started, it was just, I felt like, okay, it's just one of those things.
Sure.
We just
fooling around.
proceed.
Yeah.
But then I could see that.
And you were young at that point.
Yeah, I was young, man, around 23. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. So it started like that, man. It was a great journey.
Sure.
Throughout. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of things that happened. A lot of good things.
But weren't a lot of women throwing themselves at you because you were famous? And even now, you are still famous because now you are on a bigger platform even. But at that time, you were coming. You know when you are coming.
When
like,
you are coming,
yeah.
and plus that age as well.
Sure.
It's an age where somebody feels like fooling around. But women throwing themselves, we could actually even laugh about stuff like that.
Sure, because she was there.
She could also show me people who were inboxing her on Facebook who would laugh about it. I wouldn't even confront anyone.
Sure.
It was like, you know what, when you have
Gore why we're not Jolani LEKKERSWEET.
no, just know that even if somebody's your wife, Jack, people are gonna do things just to, so it will be up to her. If she wants to go to them, she will go.
Sure.
There's nothing you can do about it, Jack.
Sure.
So I don't know if you understand.
I understand
They're just
what
like
you're
that.
saying.
It's not magic. It's not. Even if you go somewhere, worry.
Sure.
We wouldn't care about. We were friends. I think that's what made things easier. If we could come chill with us, we were just gonna see friends. I think that's how it should be. Because if you're going to treat women these days, I'm not a love expert. I'm just saying whatever I could say now. They could be true to some, and it could be a debate. But if you're just gonna treat your woman these days like the golden days, what do we call that time, it's not gonna work. I know I'm from a Tsonga background as well. You may find that Jack finds this woman and want them to call him Lena.
Sure.
Jack, doesn't work this way.
So basically, you're just a young couple, modern couple that loves each other, and you're just appreciating one another. I'm just saying, I really admire how you document your journey, how you explain how she came through for you even in difficult times, and how she stood by you all the time.
Yeah,
and
she's been there, man. It's unconditional. It's unconditional. I don't know. Some people are just different, and so that's what I can say for now.
Sure.
We are documenting here, but I see myself with her the rest of my life.
Really?
Yeah.
So, are you planning to, or you have already put something and send a letter to the family?
Man, it's just that the cultural things we cannot go out talking about such, but I could say traditionally my sons are called by myself.
Okay,
so
yeah. That process was done.
We haven't done the English stuff.
Sure.
That process, yeah.
Okay, I get it. So what's in store for LEKKERSWEET, man? What can we look forward to in terms of entertainment? Because the other stuff you've done a lot of stuff already, man. And I think for me, the most interesting part was to capture your first phase of your journey as a musician, as an artist, as an entertainer, because I don't think that was captured properly, because today we know that you are the pioneer of KheloRap, and you coined the word KheloRap. You understand?
Yeah.
And a lot of young people don't know this. You might have said it on an interview, but it's a radio interview. It's gone with the wind. So here, my fascination was always about capturing it on video with the modern technology and just telling your story. But musically, are you planning to drop something? Are you planning to do something? And also, do you feel like now, as LEKKERSWEET, music is something that you will do to commercialize it and to monetize on it, or you are past that process?
Well, with artists, I feel like to say what's in store or what's coming as artists, there are some things that just happen without expecting. So they should just be on the lookout. And yes, I have a lot of plans. Some are not gonna be my projects. I'm somebody who always comes up with concepts and very powerful concepts. If you could, if you listen to songs like "Reason to Celebrate,"
sure, yeah.
If you listen to the hook there, it's musical.
And "Reason to Celebrate" is the song you compiled for your partner.
Yes,
sure.
Yeah, if you listen to it as well as so I come up with concepts more like every day. These days I record. I record them. And the problem with South Africans, we feel like every song that comes through should be ours. I think now my vision is to say, if I could come up with other songs and I feel like they can't be recorded by me, why not? We know the process of registration, and as long as I'm the author but not the performer of the song, is still fine, because I have a lot of concepts. If we open the voice recorder here,
Sure.
so some are not just only hip hop. But then there's a song. It's called "Skimmy." I think you've heard the song. It's a KheloRap in drill.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the.
I think that's the one you sent me.
Skimmy.
Scheme,
Yes. So there's a project. There's a project that I want to play. Full project that I want to produce.
Sure.
Rapping on drill beats.
Sure.
Because we in hip hop we need a lot of younger audience.
Sure.
We need a younger audience, and if we're just gonna continue and say we're gonna make songs like Tupac, that era is past. If we want to commercialize, then we just have to do it like now, like how things are done now. You get a lot of what do they call them? The hip hop OGs hating on the young ones.
Yeah.
They're doing the right thing. It's what.
That's what I want to get to. Do you feel like you are now still competitive and relevant to perform and be in the same space with the young ones, or you feel like your time is done and now you need to do other things like what you're doing now?
When I'm on stage, I jump higher than the young one. I don't know if you've seen me perform.
When was your last performance?
My last performance.
Yes, I've seen you perform for many years.
For many
Yes.
years. Even last week, I was performing at Maduba Lodge.
Sure.
It's somewhere not far from Village Lifestyle. It was the owner's birthday. I was jumping on stage.
So you feel like your time has not passed yet? Your time is still, you still have time. In terms of music.
That's where the problem is. We seem to give ourselves time limits. You're not the one who's going to decide that. Unless you feel like you want to be a manager, you can't say now, let me leave this DJing thing, because now, of course, there will always be time for someone. It's time. Maybe for somebody who's watching, time hasn't arrived. You may find that you think my time once came.
Sure.
My time hasn't arrived.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what. So if I can still create, why not?
Nah.
Why not? Even if we're doing this podcast now and it's going to be watched by 10 people, doesn't tell you to stop creating, man. It's some sort of, you should look at it as some sort of a calling.
Sure.
That you have. We have to create these things. Yeah, because it's not. That's why a lot of people now talk about and it's gonna give people. I made a song last year. It's called. I dropped it last year. It's called Zozi Bamba Coach. It trended a lot as a clip when I was freestyling it.
Sure.
And when I say but the hook is like Zozi Sky Jaja Zede Gauri Egazua Udochaba and Sky Tsa Wele Gauri Egazua Udoswaba. Yeah, Gare Batuba Barijaja every day. Reba Payo Gare Vina Nay Nay. The artist Bujona Dia Lebona. The Vizi Wagadi Gazelili Noah. What would you say about wow can do me? Over Arabe or while can show me. Over Motro, your monso get stress. Odo pela, Zenigara mess. Wasogola, Bareba lawyer. Wakuma, Baronole no. That's why I do me. Mzaje Diyahuba, I love me. So, you know what, that song, I'm just addressing, it's not all about musicians only.
Sure.
There are people who want to judge your gene, and if you're gonna entertain them a lot,
yeah, no.
I'm still to summarize it, I'm still gonna create.
Sure.
Whether I create it for myself or not, for me, this creations thing, I dream about songs. I dream.
You are a musician from
of a chorus, and some of them I would forget in the morning. But there's this beautiful sound that was playing. You know, have you ever dreamt about a song playing, a complete song where you hear all the beats and everything, and somebody's a voice singing?
Well, I understand what you're saying, because I dream more about radio studio and a complete radio program and podcast. But I get the picture and I understand where you are right now. So, Joe, as we wrap up, man, we've been like recording for an hour now, and 15 minutes. I just want, and my battery is dead. I just want to say, man, the reason I called you here, it is not only because I wanted you to feature on my podcast. It's because I appreciate and acknowledge the work that you have done as a pioneer, as a representative, as an activist of the language ya Khelobedu in terms of entertainment and advocating for the language. And also as an entertainer, because you have inspired a lot of young people and you have made them aware that what you are doing, it's possible and anyone can do it. And you can be proud of your own language, of the person that you are. And also as a media practitioner as well, you know, the work that you do, the effort that you put in the work that you do. And also the other thing is, I felt like your stories have not been told the way you are telling it now.
And I feel like we are not done. It's just that time is against us.
Yes. Obviously you will come back, and then when we set up somewhere else, and then we have different conversations, because I believe that at a point where we meet again, hopefully we will be talking about bigger things now. And we will be now inspiring on a different level now. Right? So what is important for me was for people to know that you are the pioneer of KheloRap. You coined the word KheloRap. You represented the language. And from me personally, bro, I must tell you, I see your work, I follow you, and I appreciate you. And I thank you for the contribution that you have made in the industry, because they are coming up. They are making great music.
Bayo is one of the first guy who once came, who used to come to my place and say, you inspire me. Those are the guys who, when we were talking about the beef part, I was still trying to explain a lot, because I think Bayo went to one podcast and said, you feel like we have beef. And that's why we can't go back there now. But Bayo is my boy. I inspired Bayo and is doing big things.
Now, yes.
And KheloRap. Yes, I respect that. And you know what's interesting about that? I felt like we didn't touch a lot on KheloRap because as a genre, but that's what I'm saying.
Next time we will. The audio is capturing anyway. But what I wanted to say is exactly what you are saying. To say the likes of Bayo, it's not like you are passing the torch. To me, it seems like now that LEKKERSWEET is no longer focusing on that, he has. You know, like, there must be someone who comes after you, bro. There must be someone that you mentor, someone that you...
That's how it should be. For a game or a sporting code to continue happening, there should be a lot of players in it. It can't happen with one. That's what, in hip-hop, that's what the problem is. People sometimes they feel like I should be the one who's running here. When it's not happening, it dies later on. So those people should, when there's a new kid on the block, that other kid should be inspired more and say, I want to be, even if it's competing, that's music, it's okay. If you say, I want to be better, obviously you're just going to say, at first they say, I want to be like, and then they feel like, I want to be better. Like, remember, there's no one who wants you to do better than them. They shouldn't lie to you. No one.
Life is a competition, naturally, without even you inviting the competition.
And as well as jealousy is natural as well. But it depends on how
you control it.
Use that jealousy to
there's envy
more.
and there's jealousy, because obviously someone can sit there and envy you and admire you and like to be with you, but they like to be like you. And there's also people who are really jealous and they just want to see your downfall.
Exactly.
Sure. LEKKERSWEET, my brother, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time, mate.
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah.
It's an honor. I think it's the first time I've been running away from podcasts. I've been not really running away, but I wanted to be on some when they invited me, but due to time,
Yeah, you're a busy guy. I struggled to get a hold of you, man. Yeah, but eventually it happened, and I really appreciate that.
And it's interesting. I would like to join all these podcasts now. I like talking. Okay, bye-bye. Let me not waste your battery.
The thing is, you will go to all these podcasts. They won't ask you the questions I ask you. You understand? And you will feel like you are doing an injustice to the interview. But anyway, it's all good, my brother. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and watch the whole thing. And yeah, we'll see you on the next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Khelobedu LEKKERSWEET, Khelobedu waswega. Kizwazwe.
Because it's a word that we created on the street.
Oh, so you coined the word chisnapo.
Yeah.
I coined the word KheloRap. Yeah, I'm the one who came up with the name.
No, but we're home. I think we were lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, we are better than those niggas.
Yeah.
But when I got home, I was like, nah, man, those niggas were dope.
Life ya go etsa master. Mara go no thomo o motlala. O tlo setlefa.
We're going around plus minus 5 million to 6 million rand of the revenue that we're collecting in this city.
Shelly, phone ya gago. Come on. Mona serious tswara. Damanunga ya phone. Agere DJ bongs mo phone. School.
Talk of stories every day of an artist that we've seen performing everywhere. Actually picturing where arts and molo watswalela, but then 2 years later I complain 3.7 all along in Jelen Screenel.